You wake up before your alarm. You go to the gym almost every day. You're at your desk by 0800, or you go to work, meetings to attend, emails to check, calls to take. You look disciplined and busy on the surface. But what if that's actually costing you your life? Many veterans have lost their own mission in life, so they attempt to fill that void with fake productivity, looking busy but sacrificing your insanity. And that was me. That was me. I lost a lot of my sense of purpose and identity coming from the Marine Corps into the civilian world. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can actually move forward in life without sacrificing your insanity and being the actual productive, disciplined person you were meant to be. So my name is Brandon Smith, former U.S. Marine, helping other veterans and even first responders rebuild their mental stability, discipline, and structure so they can operate with clarity, focus, and control again. So I'm going to go through my framework called the Emory framework. And yes, it sounds like meal ready to eat. That's where I made it from. But I developed this framework for myself and for the clients that I work with. So I want to be able to walk through that with you real quick and being able to help you actually have clarity and direction in your life and be able to have the time to be able to pursue that mission. So this is the Emory framework that I'm talking about, and I'm going to break it down. So the Emory actually stands for, in this case, mission, routine, and environment. So we're going to start off with mission real quick. So if you don't have a mission leading you to a destination, you're going to wander aimlessly. A lot of people, especially veterans who come out of the service, they're just wandering aimlessly in life. They don't know exactly what career to get into. They don't know what business to start. They don't know what they ultimately want to do in life. So I believe that's kind of the issue that a lot of veterans face. When they're in the military for say 4 to 20 plus years, depending on how long you've been in, it was easy to justify your mission, your purpose, because it was you were basically told what that was for you. You didn't really have to think so hard about waking up in the morning and getting things done because you knew you were conditioned, you were trained in that kind of environment, in that kind of mission mindset. So you knew what you were going to do for the most part. So we need to instill mission back into our lives and put that. And we break this down into core components: identity and purpose. So ultimately, identity is, I believe, is the biggest part of it because we need to understand who we truly are and who we want to become. So we also need to reframe how we truly see ourselves and who we want to become, not what the world tells us or what we've been conditioned to think. We need to actually sit down, no distractions, nothing, and actually self-reflect on who we are and who we truly want to become. So there's a verse in the Bible, so Romans 12:2, that nails this pretty well. It says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the." So think about it. Everything we do, everything we operate in our lives, everything that we're working on starts with our thoughts. Any of our actions starts with our thoughts. So if you're operating with negative thought patterns and false beliefs about yourself, then you're going to behave as such. Maybe this is something that you've been struggling with for yourself for a very long time, especially coming out of the military. Maybe there's a lot of things that they've had to battle and within your own thoughts, and that could be a self-sabotaging thing. So where your own thoughts tend to gravitate you towards a bad destination that you don't want to go. So we need to actually start transforming and by renewing our mind, by shifting the thought patterns that we have for ourselves. Like, we need to understand who we tell ourselves is really going to make a big impact on our lives. And then a purpose. What are you called to do, and what are your gifts in the world? So maybe in the military you already knew what your purpose was, and you wanting to do something similar to what you've done in the military to what you want to do in the civilian world. Or maybe you want to do something completely different. For me, it was completely different from what I wanted to do in the Marine Corps. I was a motor transport operator doing that was working in an artillery unit. And while I thought it was all right, I didn't really like the job too much, but I liked working with the other Marines to the left and right of me. I enjoyed working with them in particular. I was going in field training exercises. I was cross training with artillery. So, I mean, a lot of the job was great, but I knew moving forward, if and reflecting on the civilian world, I did not want to do any of that. Um, I didn't want to be involved in motor transport. I didn't want to be driving the trucks and the big rigs. I had no interest in that. So maybe that's different for you. Maybe you want to do something that's similar to your MOS or your role in the military. So that's completely fine. But if that's not the case for you, maybe you need to do a little bit more digging. Like I said, with identity, we need to truly self-reflect on who we are and who we want to become. So there's another verse I should have pulled that up. It's from Romans again, but it says, "And we know in all things God works for the good in those who love Him and who have been called according to His purpose." So I truly believe everyone in this world isn't here by accident. Everyone is meant to carry on a purpose in their life that is meant to serve others rather than our selfish desires. So for me, in this season of my life, I believe God has revealed to me my own purpose of serving veterans and first responders through different signs that He's shown me. Especially in the past few weeks, I believe there's been confirmation that this is the route that I need to take in my life, and at least in the season. Things can definitely change, but I believe God is equipping me to help in this area and to help other veterans and first responders who have unique circumstances, because I can relate to a lot of them. I can relate to many of the struggles that they've faced, and I've experienced it. That's my background. So maybe for you, maybe you need to reflect on what God has been calling you to do. I'm not sure what your beliefs are, but for me, I've really been seeing a lot of good signs that He has been revealed to me, and He has Himself has been revealing to me as of the past few weeks relating to this. So maybe that is something that for you to consider if you're a true believer, if you're a true Christian, maybe that is wanting to understand like what God has truly been calling you to do, and what are the certain gifts that He's given you, that He's equipped you with to be able to serve others in a certain case. Then maybe you need to pursue that and listen and yield to that, yield to the Spirit, because for me, I'm yielding to that a lot. So that is mission, and we'll move on to routine. So this is where the rubber meets the road. When you have a mission that you are confident in, then you want to have a routine that moves you forward, moves the needle forward, and that mission success. So we need to think of it as a system. So you fall to the level of your systems. And execution, taking action, is necessary to bring the mission to reality. You can think about it all you want. If you have a mission in your head, nothing's going to come to life. None of these ideas are going to come to life without action, without execution. So we need to reflect on the execution aspect, because that's the most important part. So here's how to create a routine for your own life. So reflect on the goals behind the mission and the purpose, and identify the problems that you need to solve to get there. So there's inevitably a lot of problems that you need to solve to make that a mission success. And once you understand and identify those problems, you want to create daily habits and actions that will result in you moving closer each day. So what I like to do is to write out my own tasks on paper, pen and paper. You can do this on a tool. You can use this on your computer, whatever the case, but I like old-fashioned pen and paper, or even a journal. So write out your tasks on paper, and even have a time block that you see fit with a checkbox next to it. So this will train your mind to receive dopamine for the positive sources instead of looking for the instant gratification of just social media or doom scrolling or anything like that, because we need to reinforce positive behavior here. I haven't really touched too much in the dopamine aspect or the social media aspect, but I'm gonna talk about it with environment later on. But we want to be able to positively reinforce the actions that we're going to do to move the needle forward. And these checkboxes allow for that positive feedback loop to reward you for doing the right actions. So allowing the work itself to get there be the reward in itself. So I've already checked some boxes right now, and as of this moment, I'm recording this video, and that's part of the to-do list here. And I know that'll be a positive reinforcing thing for me to be able to accomplish this task, right? The thing that's going to move the needle forward and attract the right people that need to hear this, right? So that's it for me. And for the routine, and then we're going to move down to environment. So we need to design our environment to where it makes it easy to accomplish your goals. So I break this down into 3 different categories: the physical, where you work and live; the social, who you surround yourself with; and the digital, what you consume. So let's start with the physical. So if we had to break down a physical into a stimulus and response, there's going to be a lot of things within our environment that is going to influence our behaviors, influence our response with the stimulus. So think about like what you have in your work environment right now. So I'm in an office, I'm at a desk. So what are the things that are going to move me forward or pull me back from taking care of the tasks I need to do? So if that's a phone for me, if my phone is distracting me from what I need to take care of, maybe I need to move it away from my physical environment. Maybe there's just a lot of clutter on my desk that is distracting me from taking care of a task. It pulls my focus away from what needs to be done. Maybe I need to move some objects away. That could be different for you. That depends on like what are the things that are going to distract you, and what are the things that are going to allow you to have more focus. So that's going to be completely dependent on you. And of course, I'm not saying that there is a strict stimulus and response, because the stimulus can influence your behavior, but it's not going to directly affect your behavior if you don't allow it. But we're just making things easier by removing any obstacles in our way, anything that is not contributing to our goals. So that could be the case. And maybe where you live, like maybe your home environment. This can also translate outside of work, right? This can translate for other areas of your life, like your fitness, your health. So if you're trying to be healthier, right? Maybe the thing is that you need to remove junk food from your kitchen so that you're more able to eat healthier foods. If that's something that is a stumbling block for you, you could translate this for any situation in your life, for your spiritual walk. So for me, I want to be able to read my Bible more, get closer with God, and develop my relationship with Jesus Christ, right? So it's very important for me to have my Bible close by, right? I have my Bible here. So like I want to be able to have it close by and ready so I can just dive into the word a lot. So that's what matters a lot to me. That's a big focal point. So for you, considering what are the things that you can put into your environment that makes it easy to do those things, right? And then your social environment, who you surround yourself with. So there's a quote by Jim Rohn, and I'm going to paraphrase here because I don't know exactly. It's, you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with or spend the most time with. So we need to be very cautious about who we decide to surround ourselves with. So if we're surrounded by a whole bunch of coworkers all day, every day, and sometimes it's out of our control at times. But if we're always surrounding ourselves with people who are negative, who are pessimistic, or basically like crabs in a bucket that want to pull you away from your goals and your mission in life, then we need to reevaluate the kind of people that we choose to surround ourselves with. Like I said, coworkers can be difficult if you're working in that environment. But my suggestion to you, my biggest suggestion is, if you can't change your coworkers, change your friend group, change the people that you spend time with outside of the working hours, belonging in communities of people who are wanting to lift you up, who are wanting to, like, belonging to a brotherhood or a sisterhood of people who will keep you accountable, who will support your mission, things like that. Belonging to a church group or a small group, people to work out with, people to talk business, people to just reflect on your spiritual walk and help you be accountable for all these sorts of things. You have to be intentional about it. You have to be intentional with the people you surround yourself with, because these can make you, this can make you or break you. It really can. And for me, I've been very intentional about the people I surround myself with now. I no longer want to be involved or associated with all these negative, pessimistic people that are just wanting to drag me down. Even the people that are just want to insult people or gossip or things like that. I'm very intentional about that. So keep that in mind. And digital, what you consume, your digital environment. So we live with a lot of noise, a lot of distractions. You're watching this YouTube video and probably seeing videos on the sidebar, or tempted to click on another video that just seems interesting to you because the thumbnail looks interesting. Like I said, with the phone, it can be a distraction from things that matter to you, and the things on your phone, like your apps, maybe media apps, these can be the things that can ultimately distract you from what truly matters to you. And for me, I've had to be very intentional about what I have on my phone. I have to block certain things. And I'm going to be real with you. I had an addiction to pornography, addicted to it. I was very addicted to it. And I had to remove myself and remove that temptation to even look at anything lustfully. I had to remove Instagram and other apps from my phone, because I don't want to be tempted to go in that direction. So anything that is pulling you and tempting you from what ultimately matters in your life, you probably need to remove it, or you need to put blockers on it. You need to set certain working hours to block certain apps from invading your focus. So you need to consider these things, because what we consume matters. We need to choose carefully what we decide to consume in a digital environment, with your phone, with your computer, with your iPad, tablet, the internet, whatever the case. This needs to be a priority to be able to find out, what are the things am I consuming, and is this going to move me forward or away from my mission? So we need to be very aware of that. So that is the MRE framework that I help my clients with to actually move forward. And if you are a veteran or a first responder who wanted to implement these systems and frameworks into your life, I do currently have 5 spots open to work with me one-on-one. What we do together is simple. We find your next mission, build a structure around it, and create 10 plus hours a week of focused movement towards it in 12 weeks. So if you're functional but still feel like you're going nowhere, there's a link in the description to apply. First come, first serve. So I hope this video has helped you out, and hopefully this framework can be applied into your life. And if you enjoyed this, please consider liking and subscribing, share or comment to see if there's anything that popped out to you, if anything that resonated with you. And I'd love to have that conversation with you. So have a good one. Have a great rest of your day.